Well, hi there, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening for this special Ed Events Community live stream. We'll shortly be having a chat with Dan Brown from Dulwich College in Singapore to talk about some leadership programs for teachers working in international schools. Before we get there, though, let's just have a little bit of an update on the progress of the Ed Events community. Now, as some of you may already know, it's a platform where you can look for certain education event solutions and jobs. And that is the URL that you can go to. ed.events is where you can go and register, create an account, and be one of the early members on this brand new platform. Now, one of the brand new schools on the platform is Korea International School Jeju campus, and they're going to be sharing some of their education events open to teachers to come along and join in with, as well as any job opportunities. So it's a good thing to get involved now so you can catch some of these innovative schools that are going to be trying this new platform. Now, if you do go into the platform, you'll also be able to go looking for events and these sort of opportunities. And you can see here in the events portal, the whole host of categories that you can filter events by, and quite useful if you're going to be planning your professional learning for the upcoming academic year. You can go right through there, as well as you can take advantage of any special offers. Now, Ed Events is a media partner for EduTech Asia, and if you're considering going to that in November, well, you can take advantage of a 15% discount for registering for the conference. Of course, the expo is free, and the expo is also a great opportunity to go and look at some of the latest in EdTech. But if you are considering going to the conference, you'll be able to take advantage of that offer and listen to some really great and very inspirational educational leaders and speakers. So that is available for you through Ed Events. Now, today we're here to have a bit of a chat with Daniel Brown from Dulwich College, and I'll bring him on now. Hi there, Dan. Thanks for your time.
Hi, David. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. And just a reminder that you can, of course, if you're watching, you can put your questions up online. Here we go. We've got some questions and comments coming in, which is great to see. People looking forward to this presentation. And there we go, even having a little chat amongst themselves, which is fantastic. So if you have any questions, just remember to mention the school that you're working at, and we'll take it from there. So Dan, perhaps you'd like to kickstart by telling us a little bit about these leadership programs.
Yeah, thanks, David. Yeah, these leadership programs originated from something many years ago, nearly 10 years ago now, where I was running professional learning in a different school in Singapore, and trying to organize an event for training lifeguards. And I had 2 lifeguards, and I could only find suitable training from someone from Australia who had to fly in, and it was an enormous cost. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be a better idea to sort of contact the other schools and see if we could work together on this and save a bit of money? And it worked. So and then after that, I thought, well, let's see if we could get together on some other things. And it was really the second thing we organized that really made me think. It was something about focus on suicide awareness. And the comments that came back at the end were all about how it's so much better working together with other people, learning what they're doing in their schools to support kids that are really struggling. And that was the best bit of the whole event. And in my thinking, I was just splitting the costs of the event. And then I thought, actually, no, hold on, this is really powerful, people working together. So we got together a group of schools just over 10 years ago, all of the professional learning leads in the schools. And I was, again, really surprised by the level of interest. And the number one priority that came up from all of the schools was we need some leadership training. That at the time, there was only really the sort of Institute of Education had come out, and they'd charge about $3,000 a person, and that people couldn't afford for enough training. So we thought, let's design something together as a group of schools. Let's design something where none of us make any money out of it. We're just splitting the costs. Let's design something where every day we have a training, we hold it at a different school so people can get to visit a different school. And let's have something which is focused on really what good professional learning looks like. So it's not sitting there absorbing what good learning and leadership and management looks like and then hoping you can apply it in your position. It's designed around that person's individual needs. And then we were put on to a couple of people, Chris and Greg Jansen, a couple of New Zealanders who run an organization called Leadership Lab. They're quite well known, for example, in the ERCOS community. They run a mentoring program for head teachers across sort of East Asia and do a lot of leadership training at the ERCOS Leadership Conference. And they were suggested to me by someone from Nexus International School. We got them involved, and 10 years ago we started up the first ever Singapore International School Leadership Program. We started with 35 people, and it was fantastic. And since then, every year, it's got bigger and bigger. And we've now had nearly 500 people from 18 different schools in Singapore graduate from our various leadership programs. So just here really to tell you a bit more about them, because we'd love to have more people involved. We'd love to have some schools involved that aren't currently involved. So I'll just talk you through the programs. So we now have 3 programs. The most popular one has always been the Singapore Leadership Program, Level 1 Leadership Program. This is aimed at people who are either in a leadership position, relatively new to leadership, or that they are potentially thinking about leadership in the near future, but haven't got a position at the moment. And if they are in that position where they haven't got a leadership role, we ask them to find something that they can manage in school. So, for example, I had a chemistry teacher a few years ago, thought she's going to be a great leader, but she's not a leader at the moment. But she was given a task looking at leadership of assessment in year 10. And it has to be something where it involved leading people. The head of chemistry was very happy because he didn't have to do it. So it's sort of a win-win for everyone. So it's a 3 days of face-to-face training led by Chris and Greg Jansen. Each day's in a different school, and we split the costs between us. No one makes any money out of this. I'm not here trying to make money. I'm just here trying to get good teachers working together with other schools, sharing good ideas across the international schools in Singapore so we can improve all of our schools. It's focused around an individual's inquiry and what they want to improve. So I'll just give you an example. I had a head of sports a few years ago who wanted to focus on software and all these apps and technology and get some drones flying around and improve sport through this. And we were able to focus it around his needs. So one of the sessions was on sustainable leadership. So we were able to then look at, well, how do we know that in 3 years' time, if we've spent all this money on all this equipment, it's not going to be sitting in a cupboard in the sports department with no one using it, right? And the second session was on leading, learning-centered leadership. And it was all about, well, how do we know these drones are actually going to make any difference to learning, or these apps? So it's centered around the individual needs and not around sort of just generic leadership and management. It does involve, and this is quite important, it does involve the support of the school. That we asked that 6 of the sessions, so there are 3 face-to-face training days over the course of the year, but there are also 6 internal sessions that are run within your own school. So it works best where we've got a group of people from each school and they have a mentor in their school who supports and develops them. And I train those mentors. So if you're in a school at the moment and you're not sure if you've got a mentor or something, you can always get hold of me. I think David's put my email address in the chat, or I'm on LinkedIn, and find out whether you have a leader in your school who is already trained to run these sessions, or I can train them pretty quickly. It's quite easy to do. So we run what are called 6 gel sessions in school. They're meant to gel the whole course together, but also create a cohort of learners that are learning together and supporting each other through the program. There's a lot of focus on coaching skills and getting each person to actually share with other people on the course the issue they've got with their leadership inquiry, and getting ideas from the other people on the course about what they could do to improve it. So it's supporting each other through the course. The course lasts for a year. The 3 days face-to-face training are focused. The first one is on leading change. The second one's on leading learning, and the third one is on leading systems. It's $710, which is sort of as an estimated cost, really. It's sort of maximum cost. It has happened in the past that I've given money back to schools where we've managed to increase our sort of minimum baseline numbers, and we're not making money, so we'll give money back to the schools if we manage to do it for cheaper than that. But it's all based on the number of people that sign up. So that's the Singapore Leadership Program. It starts in the end of October the 31st. We usually have 4 different cohorts because we have so many people on it. Last year we had 86, so we split them into 4 different groups over 2 days. It involves a school visit as well. So not just you have each day at a school, that we also identify a school for each individual person to visit. So if the person on the course, for example, is the head of maths and they're new to the role, we ask all of the schools on the program to identify a good head of maths who's not on the program but would be able to support this person. So that person could then be set up with a visit to another school to go and meet an experienced head of maths who knows what they're doing and can help give some mentoring and guidance. And again, that's free PLD. So school visits are a fantastic way of getting PLD. So 10 years ago, we set up that program. It's been really successful. We get great feedback from people every year. We must get great feedback or it wouldn't actually keep, increasing in numbers every year. And the deadline for applying for that is coming up on September the 29th. So if you're not aware of it, please ask your PLD lead in school, email me, and we can make sure that we've got sort of things in place so those deadlines are met. The next one to mention is the Singapore Extending Leadership Program. So we had a bit of feedback about 3 years ago that loads of people have done the leadership program. What's next? People wanting a bit more development. So again, with Chris and Greg Jansen from Leadership Lab, we set up the Singapore Extending Leadership Program, which is now in its third year of operation. And that is designed at people who've either been through the Level 1 Singapore Leadership Program, or they're in a senior leadership position in their school already, or they've been through some other sort of leadership training, but they should be reasonably experienced leaders looking to get into senior leadership or already in senior leadership. Okay, and that course is slightly more expensive. It's $995. And it involves, instead of having the internal gel sessions within school, they have coaching sessions in group coaching with Chris and Greg Jansen in addition to the 3 days face-to-face training. So again, that program is getting some really good feedback, and it results in an event called Lead Up, which is a leadership conference where we invite all teachers in Singapore to attend completely free. And the people presenting at the Lead Up conference are people that have attended the Singapore Extending Leadership Program and talking about what they have learned during the program. And then, by the way, if you've got any questions about those, do feel free to put them in the chat. It'd be good to know what schools you're from as well. So maybe just type in the chat what school you're from, and I can tell you if you've got someone in your school as part of the program already. But the last one, which we set up actually years ago, and then it sort of stopped for a bit, and then it started again, is the Singapore International Schools Administrative Support Middle Managers Program. This is aimed at people who are in administration positions. When I say that, I'm talking about things like HR, finance, admissions, marketing. So we identified quite a few years ago that there's a need for developing these people, particularly within the specific educational context and particularly within the international school context, because many of these staff are local staff, and they're working in an international environment can lead to some sort of interesting cultural issues on both sides, which is something that is specifically addressed in this course. And it was set up initially with the British Council together with Tanglin Trust School, and it got really good feedback for about 3 years. And then we ran it, and it didn't get so much good feedback. And we were like, why, what happened? And we discovered that one of the individuals from the British Council had left, and he was the guy who was really the power behind it. But we've basically found him again, a guy called Andrew Collar. He now runs his own business called Project Vivify, and he's running the program again and has been for the last couple of years. So I'm sure why that's not working, but it's a great program. We've again get really good feedback from staff. There are 4 days here of face-to-face training, 2 in November, 2 in February, 2 will be at Dulwich, 2 will be at Tanglin. But again, it's open to people from schools across the country. There's no internal program with this, so anyone can apply for this. Again, it's $995, but if we manage to do it cheaper, we give money back. And that is, again, the deadline is the same on the 29th of September, and that course starts in November. So if you've got anyone you think might be good for that, people in maybe communications, nursing, receptionists, that sort of thing, people are looking for a bit of development, need a bit of leadership sort of movement. The basic aspects to that course are a section on self-awareness, looking in particular at emotional intelligence, a section on communications and improving communications, and a section on workplace culture and how they can contribute to a positive workplace culture. So that's basically it. I am on LinkedIn. I'm ready and available now if anyone has any questions about any of the courses. The deadline, don't forget, is the 29th of September. We'd love to have loads of new people on the courses and keep expanding these and learning more from other people from other schools. Thank you, David, for letting me present, and I'm very open to any questions that are coming up.
Yes, well, we have quite a few number of viewers. However, it looks like they're a bit shy at the moment. But what I can also say is that the link to this page has been added into the comments. So wherever you're watching, if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, or hopefully if it's gone through on LinkedIn, don't know if it has. Maybe it has. Yes, looks like it has. You can just click the link to come onto this page here with all of the details, and also has contact for Dan as well. So that's all there. So what I might do is just share a couple of things and give people a moment if they want to be brave and ask a question. Don't forget, if you do have a question, just to share what school you're with. But I'll just take one moment to let me just remove this from the screen for a moment here, and we'll bring this up here, over here. There we go. And then I'll bring this back up. Look at that, seamless. Now that's some of the things that we've been talking about today, some great opportunities for people in Singapore. And of course, in addition, if you go onto the Ed Events community, you'll find some other opportunities that are happening that you can register. This particular one is through EduSpark and Bangkok Patina School, who are also getting on board with Ed Events, which is really exciting. This is a double workshop opportunity with Tonya Gilchrist. So you can either do 2 days of workshops, or you can just choose one of them. Students as authors of their own learning, or empowering curious communicators for life. Fantastic opportunity there, coming up at the end of October. Of course, I mentioned before the 15% discount if you're thinking of going to the EduTech Asia conference. This is an online professional learning event coming up on the 25th of November. It's a half day, 2.5 hours. The importance of belonging, a workshop that's focused on building inclusive school communities. Audrey Pantelis and Jolene Lockwood are the two outstanding presenters for this workshop. A great opportunity to get involved. And in addition to the workshop, there's actually a special community which will be established just for the participants of that, and you'll be able to continue the discussions and the sharing online as well. And that's where you'll be able to do it at Ed Events. So for anyone with any other questions, I guess, Dan, they can follow the links in the comments, or reach out to you from there. And yeah, I hope it's of some benefit to people who are just curious, and perhaps that information might be useful.
Thank you for letting me present, David.
So thanks very much for your time. Thank you to everyone for watching the live stream, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, it's bye for now.